ladies and gentlemen. Might have been Memorial Day weekend, and I did get to spend some awesome time with family, but it was also time to build some stuff, time to improve. I keep wanting to make this the best software to help martial arts school owners and instructors build awesome retention for their schools. So, instructor evaluation system. We know that instructors on the floor are the number one thing that are going to keep your students coming back. Okay, how an instructor teaches a class, and so getting evaluations from parents and students is a great way to see, how that's going. Obviously, they're going to be there are other softwares that do this. Okay, I'm not saying that they don't. I'm pretty sure one of the big CRMs out there does it, but I'm not 100%. Excuse me. So I want to show you how we've built it in, and what I like about this is getting all the data in, again, one central area. A lot of CRMs are able to get some of the data in, but they don't always get all of it, and they certainly don't give you the kind of action steps that you need to take to be moving forward on retention. So let me make this a little bigger for us. So this is my actual one. I probably shouldn't. So let's go first down to settings. I've got some weird data in here though too, because it's my main school, but it's also, I do all the testing stuff on his sometimes then too. So I'm going down to settings. I'm going to go and make sure that I have turned on instructor evaluation surveys. Okay, so you see this, you can customize these survey invitation emails here. Okay, so email templates are here at the top in surveys, excuse me, and the invite. Okay, and here's where we set the questions. These are the default questions. You can always add your own questions to go out with it. All right. Now, you need to turn these on. So if I go to my class groups, this is able to turn on and off per class. So these are the classes that I have set up in my system. If you don't want a certain class to have evaluation set out, you just go in and click on the name of the class, and then you can go all the way to details, right, and then turn this off. Okay. You can also set this for how many hours after class you want it to send. 1 hour after class, 2 hours after class. So like I set my, or maybe I didn't edit this. I should. Okay, so let's go to my black belts. I don't want my black belt emails to send 2 hours after, because that's going to be pretty late. So I'm going to go 1 hour after, and it's going to save that, and they're all set. Okay, so now what the system does, let me go back to the students in this class. So you'll see all these students in the class. If I start a session, which I'm not going to do right now because that's going to trigger all kinds of things in my account, but what's going to happen is when I have a session start, I'm going to click on the students that are in the class, do all my retention-based things where I can award stripes, I can log a praise for them in class, I can check the vibe of the student in class, and all that data is going in so we can get that information. But then what it's going to do is when I close the class, and not only will it send those emails out to the students that we praised or students who got stripes, so we get that recognition, get that feedback. If you listen to our webinar talking about the 3 signals model, making sure that we're getting that communication as one of those signals, it is also going to pick 10% of the class. Okay? 10% of the class is randomly going to get a survey. Now, they have to have an email on file, obviously. If with a max of 5 people. Okay, obviously, if you have a class of 60, it's not going to send out more than 5. Okay, now when that happens, it's also going to look at who has not gotten a survey in the last 30 days. So you won't get a survey this week and next week and the week after randomly. Okay, it'll make sure you don't get a survey for at least 30 days. Okay, because parents just don't want survey after survey after survey, come in every night they go to class, they're going to start ignoring it. Okay, so we got that 30-day wait period. There might be some classes that none get sent out, okay, because so it's default to send at least one out every class. But if you have 5 people in the class and they all got one in the last 30 days, it's not going to send one out. Okay, just so we're not overloading our students. Okay, so let me go back and show you then this. Okay, now we've added on the surveys page the tab. This is just set up, so I don't even have any coming yet. Okay, but this will be in here. No, because you set up your staff and you click that when you start a class, all that information. Now, let's also look at the second thing that we added in. Okay, if you go to settings, all of our signals right now for our software are set up as signals that are more on the warning side. They're saying, hey, they're telling us this score has dropped on this student and they're more likely to quit. We need to make sure we recognize them, make sure we're checking on them, make sure we're communicating. That is happening. Okay. But because we're recording all this data, we're also seeing who's been in class a bunch, who's giving us great scores on different things, who's getting a lot of awesome praise. Their vibe is really high. So we know that a great way to maintain retention is making sure that we're upgrading students to a new program. So we've offered in here the ability to look at who should be included in an upgrade. So let's do this. Programs. Okay. If you go to the very bottom of programs, you got to enable this. Okay. Right here. You can set a minimum amount of time enrolled. So I said they have to be enrolled for 4 months. Okay? 4 months to upgrade them. You might be 1 month, whatever. You can set the system to be selective, more or less. So more candidates. If you don't want it to be very selective here. Okay? How many candidates do you want a week? Maximum amount of candidates. I want 5 candidates per week maximum. And then default dismissal period. This means that if I have them come up on my list of people who should be upgraded and I say, no, I'm not going to try to upgrade this person, or for some reason, I'm not touching that one, they'll be dismissed for 4 weeks. So it won't put them on the upgrade list again for 4 weeks. Could be 8 weeks, could be 12 weeks, whatever you want. Okay? Then here is the outreach method that we're going to get. Okay, you can pick between these 3. Flag for conversation. So it just tells you in the system, hey, this person would be a good person to do, and it flags your instructor and tells them to talk to them. Second, an email goes out with the owner's approval from the candidates list. I'll show you where the candidates list is going to go. There. So it'll send an email to them, say, hey, we want to upgrade you. And again, you can edit that email in the email template section. Okay. Obviously, I won't say we want to upgrade them, but they're invited to this awesome thing or whatever. Or this is the one I've chosen, pre-frame survey, then an email. Or survey, frame survey. They then get the survey email to them first. We see what kind of info we're getting from that to pre-frame them. And then we send out an email and an invitation follows after that. Okay. So if you go to students, I might move where this is right now. This is where it sits. But in student section, you can go to upgrades. And then once a week, it runs through all the students, all the grades, and it'll come back after Sunday scoring. Boom, here. So it's got to be turned on, go for a week. It'll do a weekly candidate list for you right there. And surveys, you can go, again, we've got our upgrade survey here. Boom. That's where you'll get the information and stuff like that. Okay. Let's go back to settings real quick and make sure I have set up. Okay, the onboarding, instructor evaluations, application questions. Okay. So those are the two new additions that we've made to the software. Really cool. Get your 14-day trial. Check out the software. See how you're going to have action steps right away. All kinds of things that you need to make sure that are going to help you retain students. It's way cheaper. If you haven't watched our webinar going over the 3 signals method, which is what this is all built around, you can do that. I'll put a link in the bio here. I just made a quick web page for the webinar, so I didn't get a fancy URL or anything. RetentionOS. There we go. Okay. So if you have any questions, reach out. I'd love to talk to you about it.